and gentlemen, people of planet Earth, I am here before you to stand behind you, to let you witness the oncoming episode, which will feature a science fiction deluxe compilation of film that shall be reviewed by these mere subhumans. But first, I have one other thing to say. All of you people out there, you best stand back. You best stand afraid, because I will be coming for you. This finger, I shall probe you to your eyeballs. Antibodies shall be submerged within your human bodies. You shall all be mine. And with that, I thank you. And now, I present these two gentlemen to do their show. Thank you.
There we go.
Hello, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we're back.
We're back. Another fun-filled episode, sir.
Uh-huh.
Official handshake.
Official handshake?
Yes, indeed. All right.
We should come up with our own handshake.
We should?
Like a little mixture of a couple of different types of handshakes
all right.
in one.
We could do like a penis shake or something.
Let's not go that far.
Let's not go that far.
You can do that on your own time.
That's below the belt, if I may say.
It is.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's so good to be back. You know, we weren't here last week. We were preempted by another show, which is
fine.
Heartbreaking for us because
it just gives this week's show that much more grandeur.
We had prepared a full show, but of course the powers that be just kind of, you know, they cast us into the wind sometimes. Sometimes when the wind doth blow, we doth go. So.
As they say,
we have returned. Happens. We are back. It's always a pleasure. It's an honor. It's a privilege, of course.
It is.
All yours, sir.
Thank you.
For us to be here. So once again, we just want to say hello, and we bid you all a pleasantry of the very
We're happy to be back to discuss cinema with all of you people.
We are indeed. That's right. Movies, cinema, picture show.
That's why we do this.
The big screen, the big rectangle. You know, hopefully we're going to be...
Or the small rectangle if we're watching it on our phone.
There you go. Sometimes we must watch it on our phone. It's indeed very truth. But we do have some immediate news to talk about with you, however. We have things coming out this weekend.
We've got a pretty big weekend of stuff coming out.
We do have a big weekend of stuff. Let's talk about the miserable failing of Hope gone solo in the
unfortunately, it's not connecting with global audiences, especially in China. It's not doing well at all.
There's a major flaw in this film.
Well, we're going to discuss Solo in a few minutes. Major flaw in this film,
and we will review it very shortly.
Yes, that's coming soon tonight.
The original Star Wars.
That'll be our third review this evening. Is going to be Solo.
Star Warsian geeks out tonight. But regardless, it has just made about 29 million.
It's still going to make its money back in the long run.
It made about 140 the previous weekend, which was pretty much right on target. It didn't do actually it did 125. It didn't do as well as Deadpool did the opening weekend.
But then it had like a 60% drop, something like that.
60%? Are you kidding? It had like almost a 80% drop.
Bad?
Oh, really bad.
Okay.
This weekend was only about 25 mil. That's pathetic.
Okay.
I mean, when Book Club is, you know, you're running neck and neck with Book Club, with the, you know, with the geriatric crew. You know, it's always fun to walk into the Book Club theater. I did walk into one today.
And you can predict who.
I saw the series of bedpans. You know, and you see the little white heads. You know, Earl and Pearl are sitting, oh, honey, that's you up on the
It looks
screen.
like a box of Q-tips, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It was just wonderful, and it always brings tears to my eyes to see these. You know, that's all us, ladies and gentlemen. We sit here, and we're smug, and we're young and beautiful. And, of course, I just speak for myself.
Of course you do.
But, you know, let's be honest. You know, we're all heading there. We're all going to be sitting there.
But we do have a...
You know, and you don't say it depends. Because it doesn't. Hey.
Yeah. But this weekend, though, as we were touching on before, a lot of good stuff coming out.
We did.
We have Ocean's 8, the reboot, I guess you could say, of the franchise this time.
No desire
with an all-female cast.
No desire.
That's the new way of rebooting something, all-female cast.
That's right, Ghostbusters.
With Sandra Bullock is in this one. And a pretty big cast of people as well. Could be interesting.
Blanchett, Sandra Bullock,
Helena Bonham Carter.
You've got
Rihanna.
Mindy Kaling.
Mindy Kaling.
Madonna?
No, Rihanna, I said.
Oh,
Rihanna. Anne Hathaway. Then we have also the big horror film that's getting a ton of buzz is Hereditary
Big.
with Toni Collette.
Big, ladies
That's
and
the one I
gentlemen.
want to see the most this weekend. That
You
looks
know,
really
me
good.
too, and you're not a horror buff.
No, but I like the ones that are supposed to be really good. Those are the ones I'll gravitate to.
Yeah.
If I'm hearing a lot of good things about it, I got to see it. And then we also have this
totally agree.
weekend.
It's funny how they don't have a camera that can put both of us on the screen. Oh, there we
That's
go.
called the
Oh, they
wide
do.
shot. We opened
Oh,
up on
thank
that
you,
shot.
ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I thought that would be
He
more
just got out of a
appropriate.
cough, and forgive him.
No, I didn't. It's not a cough that gets you off.
It's a cough and they take you off. And then we also had this weekend Hotel Artemis, which looks like a lot of fun.
Hotel Artemis. That's
With-
where Jodie Foster looks like she's 92.
Yeah, we have Jodie Foster,
She looks so bad in
Dave
this film.
Bautista. We have the villain in this film was played by Jeff Goldblum. Looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it
And
looks like
then,
they're just rebooting villains from
I mean, kind
previous
of
shows.
in a way. It doesn't look
Previous-
like anything we haven't seen before, but it looks like fun.
I know. It's really a drag when you see recycled villains, especially Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
You know, he steps right from Avengers,
Yeah,
Infinity,
yeah.
right to Deadpool.
But he's not really a villain in Deadpool.
I don't know.
He's a guy on his own mission, and Deadpool's just in his way.
I suppose.
He's his own anti-hero.
I know.
But anyway, we digress.
We're just
Let's begin.
retreading the same actors, it
Well,
seems
that's what.
to me.
Well, they're using
You
the
know.
same A-listers because that's
Very
what
true.
that's what brings in the tickets.
Let's go to
allegedly.
the videotape.
But
Let's go to the first film
let's
we
start
got.
right away because we got a lot to cover
Got a
tonight.
lot to cover tonight.
We're going to start with Adrift. It's currently in theaters. It opened up this past weekend. It is based on a true story.
Yes.
It takes place in 1983 about two young people that take a boat, a big yacht, I guess almost. I guess you can call it a schooner, whatever you call
Yeah.
it. They're taking it on a trip from Caribbean island all the way to California. And on the way, they encounter a hurricane. And it's
Right.
stars Shailene Woodley, which is, I would
who's
say...
the guy in this movie?
His name is...
And
why
what
do I
movie
forget
was
it?
he in?
Sam Claflin. Well, we know him from
From?
Their Finest. Remember Their Finest? That fun British film we reviewed
Oh, yes,
back on
yes,
in
yes.
our old studio.
Oh, yeah.
He
Very
was in
good.
that. He's apparently in all the Hunger Game films, which I haven't really seen. He's in those
Okay.
as well.
There you go.
They're both very good
No,
in this
he was
film.
good.
But
It
this
was-
is her film. This is Shailene
Absolutely.
Woodley's film. She's basically in every scene.
She is.
She produced the film.
She had a part-time executive producer. I believe.
Yeah, produced. Yeah, so it's a really harrowing story. It's again one of these survival tales that we see. I guess we get a few of these every single year.
I suppose we do.
And
The Perfect Storm, basically.
Perfect Storm.
Part 3.
All is Lost, the one with Robert Redford.
Oh, I know. And now there's a new one out with Colin Firth.
Oh, there
where
is.
Colin travels around the world
Oh,
in
okay.
a rowboat.
Oh, all right. I haven't seen
just
that
saw
trailer
it the
yet.
other day
All right.
on the internet.
Yeah, so it's about these
So,
people that they love being on boats and they get in these circumstances.
They
and
meet in Tahiti.
Tahiti,
basically
they fall
kind
in
of
love.
fall in love, and they kind of say, "Let's get on a boat." and
He's
go
the guy
around
that pretty
world."
much lives on this boat that he built,
Right.
and he travels the world, and he goes from port to port, and he falls in love with her.
They do.
and they decide to go on this journey
They
together.
make a commitment to each other, and then suddenly they are approached
Yeah.
by a couple who say to them, "Hey, before you go on your worldwide cruise,
Yeah.
could you take our boat back to San Diego
for $10,000 and
for
two
10
first-class
grand and
tickets
two
back.
first-class tickets back?" So
Deal they couldn't refuse.
But let's get to the heart of it. You
Yeah.
know, this is a film about. I wish the film is not filmed in chronological order. We
Well,
start
yeah,
with the
it's true.
opening of the film is done. We see the aftermath of the storm.
Of the storm.
It's the first scene that we see. There's a 100-foot wave that kind of employs this
Scary
boat.
as hell.
And,
Yeah.
You know, the boat, it's kind of a cool scene in a
It
way.
is, yeah.
Where we see the boat almost like at the beginning, not at that major 100-foot wave.
Not like the one in the
but
Perfect Storm,
we see the boat almost surfing along the side of a wave at one point. I thought, hey, that's pretty cool.
They did a great job with the effects. They filmed
They
most
did.
of this film out to sea, I actually was reading.
No, 99% of the film
Most
is
of
in
it,
sea.
yeah. And
Whenever
from
they do
4
the
a.m. to, like,
storm-
midnight every day.
The storm films are always filmed in a small, well, not that small, but,
But
they have
the
like
storm
a,
is part in a tank.
They'll
Yeah.
very often go to Pinewood Studios
Yeah.
over in
Or Mexico has a
England,
big studio, too, that
Mexico,
does that.
where James Cameron did
The Titanic, you're right.
And they will just rock the water so incredibly, and then green screen all the rest,
Yeah,
so it's just
exactly.
the rest of the ocean. I really enjoyed this movie.
I really
very,
did too.
very much.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
Really?
I was
Yeah.
committed to these characters. I cared about these characters, and I really was amazed at the story. And I always think
It
to
is a
myself,
true story.
That's a true story. And the one thing about these films that are true stories, that especially ones that take place at sea, I always say to myself, I just could never imagine putting myself in that scenario. I would never ever want to be on the open ocean on a boat like that.
Dude, try these.
Okay, let's try yours on.
No,
you want to try mine on?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a switch.
Oh man, I
oh, yeah,
can't
not
see.
bad.
I can't see.
Yeah,
Why
these
not?
are, these
Why
are a
not?
little
I got my eyes
smudgy.
closed. They
little
are?
smudged. Yeah.
Oh, they smudgy.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
But
do
anyway,
take
I'm done wearing these anyway. But yeah, I just would never want to be in that scenario. That's one of
of
my
course.
personal nightmares.
All right.
No, but there are people that love the water.
They do.
And you notice in every one of these stories where you see these people that get through these kind of things and they survive,
Yeah.
you find out, oh yeah, they never stop. They're always in the water.
know.
Or if there's somebody that died in a plane crash or almost died in a plane crash,
Yeah.
oh yeah, they still fly every day. You know,
I
so
know.
it's.
Well, you know, the love
I guess
of
the
what
odds
they do,
are against it happening again.
Very true, indeed.
But it's an amazing story. It's an
It is
amazing
indeed.
film.
I have to say, my fault with the film is that as soon as you see the aftermath of the storm
Yeah.
at the beginning,
Yeah.
you now know they survived.
Yeah.
I didn't know that going into the theater. I would have preferred to have seen this film done in chronological order.
So you don't know how it works
So
out.
you
Yeah.
don't know how it works out. You don't know that they survive. I didn't read the news article about this
Yeah, well, this was
particular
1983.
woman.
Who's gonna remember?
1983,
Yeah.
right? We're talking 30.
I was 5 years old. You were
35 years
You were
ago.
47.
I was 142
Yeah, you were.
in
Yeah, I
those
figured
days.
you were.
I had just had my my first colonoscopy. I
beautiful.
think in '83.
Was that the one that your mother photographed and put on the family wall?
I think she put
I
that
thought
on the
so.
family wall.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
right.
no
Yeah,
wonder.
that's right next
No
to
wonder.
it. Yeah, exactly.
That explains
But,
everything.
does it? Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. But because there's another thing in horror films that they do
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit that I don't like. Just a little pet peeve. When they're showing somebody going into a tunnel
Mm-hmm.
and the camera is at the end of the tunnel watching them come in,
Mm-hmm.
you're now within the viewpoint of that camera watching them, the camera filming
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
And you now know that wherever that camera is, it must be safe. In other words,
okay.
you want to film the people, the camera behind
From
the
their
people.
perspective, yeah, yeah,
exactly.
I understand
you
what
want
you're
to see
saying.
from their perspective.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I went into that analogical mood, that maintenance of thought process
Mm-hmm.
that took me to that horror thing. But I really would prefer to see this film in chronological order. That's the way it should have been done. We should have seen them get on the boat, hit the wave. The survival then ensues, takes place. End of film. Bingo.
And you know
I would
what's
have much
funny
preferred it.
is that that's usually how we see these types of films.
I know.
I'll be honest with you. I liked
That they
the
shook
way
it
that
up?
it did this way.
Okay.
I liked that we were getting fragments. We'd get, okay, here is the aftermath. Oh, now we're going back to, here's the beginning of the story. Some more aftermath, back to the beginning. So the flashbacks were told in chronological order of how these two met, how the story progressed, how we got to the aftermath. I
And,
liked that.
of
To me, that
course,
was very interesting.
I just
and it
realized
kept me
something.
into it.
I just realized something also.
What's that?
That, we're on this boat, I believe, for close to 41 days, 47
41
days.
days, I think,
it's
yeah.
41 days.
Yeah.
And if they had actually if they did shoot it in chronological order, what would you have done during those 41 days?
Yeah.
You just sort of watched their deterioration
Yeah,
of no
yeah,
sun,
yeah.
etc., and the whole process that, sitting on a boat waiting for someone to save you. So
I know.
I guess in essence, just entertainment vehicle-wise, this truly was the way
And
to do
we
it.
never know.
And
This
that just occurred to me.
This could have just been a decision that was made in the editing room. They could have, the story in the script, it could have been in chronological, and they just said, you know what, let's change this up a little bit to make it more interesting.
Let's smoke some weed.
Yeah, let's smoke some weed, and then we'll go edit the film.
Edit the movie.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been exactly what they did.
I know, it's very true.
I mean, and that, a
stranger
lot of
things
movies
have
take
happened
place
in the
and
history
are
of the world.
formed in the editing
Very
room.
true indeed.
But anyway, I give a big recommendation, a big yes to Adrift.
I
I
liked
really
it too.
enjoyed it. And this
Shailene,
is a theater film.
It is
Go
indeed.
see it in the theater.
I totally agree.
And Shailene is wonderful.
She's dynamite,
I would
man.
argue that this is going to be, I hope, another breakout film for her. Like take her to the next level.
Absolutely.
I hope because she's excellent.
Was in Fault of Our Stars. What was that film?
Yeah, Fault of Our Stars.
Fault of
yeah.
Our Stars, where she's dying of
Cancer or
she's got
something,
the thing
whatever.
up the nose, etc.
Yeah.
And
then she did the
she's
Divergent
wonderful in this
films, and
movie.
yeah,
I
she's
can't
very
fault
good.
her. I can't fault her in Our Stars.
No, she's very good.
because she is a big star, and no fault of hers. So she's fantastic. And
She's great.
the
And
girl
Sam
next
Claflin is
door.
very good in this too,
She's
both.
attractive. She's really
She's the whole
wonderful.
package.
She's the whole
And she's
package.
intelligent too. She's not just a pretty face. Is
that right?
I think she exudes
talked to her
intelligence.
personally?
I do.
Did you do,
we have a Skype meeting every week.
Oh, did you?
We do.
And you
Yeah.
do some calculus with her, do you?
I do.
So you know
yeah.
she's pretty.
I do.
She's pretty smart.
She taught me a lot of things.
All right. So
we're
we
gonna move
both
on.
we both like Adrift, and
We both really enjoyed Adrift.
we
We
did
recommend it
indeed.
highly. I would check it out.
Let us move on to our next film.
So the
Zach.
next film we're going to do is actually a series on Netflix called The Keepers.
Oh yes.
This is a docu-series that is extremely serious. But we want to mention it because
it's a true story.
It's a true story.
There she is.
The premise of the story, it takes place in
Kathy, whatever her
Sister
name is.
Kathy.
Sister Kathy.
It takes place in 1969, where she is a nun.
Small town in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania.
No, Baltimore.
Oh,
it's in
correct.
Baltimore.
You're right.
It takes place in Baltimore.
killed Sister
Oh, it almost
Kathy?
looks like we're in the newspaper. That's kind of cool.
Why? So it does.
Yeah.
Look.
Basically, she is a.
Have you seen these two demented individuals?
Call your local
who are down in the
FBI
corner.
office.
You see, but our beloved fans
Yeah.
don't see that. They're just seeing the headline.
No, they're seeing both. They see the whole thing.
Do they?
That's what goes out to them.
Oh, you're
They
kidding.
see the picture
Oh,
and
good.
us in the corner.
Oh, so we should do a freeze.
We cut it like this. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Okay.
So anyway, as I was saying, she's a nun. She is a teacher at
Ain't got none, can't get none, don't want none.
Exactly. She's a teacher actually in a public school. She was a teacher in a Catholic academy, and then her and another teacher went out as an experiment. The Archdiocese did this
that has nothing to
experiment.
do with the show.
Well, no, that's important because they were in the public school system. That was an integral part of how everything kind of transpired.
Oh, transpired?
Transpired.
Transpired.
Transpired. I said transpired.
No, you said transpired.
No, what I did, I said trans, and then I said pired.
said
I kind of
transpired.
put a pause.
That's quite all right.
Anyway.
All right.
So then she gets murdered. And the whole
She does.
story is about who killed her, but the problem is that it was an unsolved mystery for a long time. And now the story picks up within the past 5-6 years. With their two
about
of her,
3 years ago.
Yeah. Two of
Yeah.
her former students are now adults in their 60s.
Correct.
Who are basically doing the investigation because they felt that the police never did a good job investigating this story.
There they are, basically.
Yeah, that's them.
That's not them, though.
That's really them. The
No,
two-
that's not them. The woman on the left is not one of the two women.
Yes,
who
that's the two of them.
Oh, I do not think so,
100%.
sir.
Yes,
No, you
I
are
did the
incorrect.
research on the photos.
No, you've
that's
done poor
Gemma and that's
research.
Abby. No, that's them.
Well,
I did the
all right.
research on the
You
photos.
sure
That's
that
them.
Gemma and Abby sound like two cats that
They do, but
you've
that's
had in a previous
Gemma
life.
and Abby.
All right.
Anyway, so them, and then also we see other people that have been involved in this investigation, a journalist, and then we see a lot of different people interviewed, former students, a couple people that were victims of sexual abuse, because that's the crux of the story. Is
It
that
is.
they think the reason she was murdered was because she was going to uncover some sex abuse that was going on by
There
this
was a
prominent
specific,
father.
A specific, looks like Willem Dafoe's little brother
It
right
kind
there.
of does, yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
a specific father, I forgot his name.
I have it here.
you?
Father.
Father, leave me alone.
You know, it's in
No,
the photo
not him.
description. Yes.
That's not him.
Father.
But he is wearing.
Maris?
There he is.
That's him.
That's
him.
the man.
Yeah, with an M. I forget his
This
name.
is Father Macus or Macadamius.
Something like Mac something.
Yeah, it's Macadamius.
He's a real
you know
SOB.
why? Because he's nuts.
He sucks.
He's a macadamia nut.
He was
But,
responsible, they say,
this
for all this
man
stuff.
Single-handedly, it's riveting. It's mind-blowing.
Disturbing
you
as
know,
hell.
The thing that got me about this whole show in the first place
Mm-hmm.
is that beautiful woman that we showed at the very beginning. That's Father Mathis,
talking about-
and that's
yeah.
Father.
The one with the glasses, the younger one
Yeah,
on
he's
the
the
right.
lookout.
That's Magnus.
Magnus,
He was an
correct.
accomplice.
He's the lookout guy.
The
He's
other
the
guy is
standing
really
at the
the
door,
culprit.
while this guy would
Yeah.
close doors, have these poor young women who
Yeah.
were abused. He would bring them into his office and further abuse
We're
them.
talking about 16,
And we're
15-year-olds
talking
here.
Horrible,
18,
horrible
17, that whole age range.
sex acts that he performs on these girls. It's just outrageous. Not just, you know, how do you separate the fathers from the altar boys? It's the old joke with a crowbar.
It's
That's
terrible.
how you separate them.
And he'll manipulate them by saying that,
It's
you know,
heart-wrenching.
you have to do this if you love God and God hates you.
Right.
And then he would belittle them afterwards. I can't believe you just did that. You're an awful person. God
I know.
hates you now.
He
Total
would just
scumbag.
manipulate through
Yeah.
his sexuality. He would manipulate the
Yeah.
word of God into these
Pure evil is what it is.
Just
Pure.
horrifying.
Unadulterated
Horrifying.
evil.
And of course, if you saw the film Spotlight, you know these men get moved from church to church to church
Yeah,
to church
like
to
this.
church, not to church.
Find a
but
priest, find a priest.
school
Robin
to
Williams had a
school.
joke about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's her car.
There's her car.
being
And so
left.
there was this whole, they say there was a police cover-up. There was a lot
Right.
of claims of different, the problem was that the priest
police
and the
were
arch.
working with him.
Well, he was friends with all these people in the department, people in politics. They were so powerful, the archdiocese
So
at that point.
intertwined, if you will.
Intertwined. So this case went
Very
cold
true.
for decades.
Absolutely true.
But there were a lot of different false leads that are explained in this series. It's only seven episodes, but I'm telling you, it sucks you in.
No, it really does.
It is really a
it's
riveting
7 hours
documentary.
long.
Yeah.
But you know, what really
amazing.
lured me was the woman's face. If we can show her again, Sister
Kathy, she's beautiful.
In her habit there, if you have that photo, I'd love to see
He
it.
has a habit of loving
well,
beautiful
let me tell
women.
you something. It was her. Look at the brightness of this
I know.
woman's face.
She was a big soul.
She's like a radiant saint almost.
I know.
And all the students revered her
Yeah.
as a saint in essence.
They loved
she was
her.
just so wonderful, and she just wanted to help everybody.
She did.
And she's murdered. She's just killed.
In a brutal way,
in a
too.
brutal, horrible way. And
Along with another woman, too, that was murdered. It was 2 people.
well, I almost think that was a cover-up murder, so that they didn't want to. Because this was a cover-up. We do find that out during
there's
the thing.
definitely
I
a
don't want to
cover-up.
go into that
We're not
so
going
much.
to tell you the
But
outcome.
there's another woman who is murdered.
As
I
well.
almost think they did that as a decoy murder to distract.
Could
that,
be.
Hey, the murder of our nun here is
Yeah.
actually that wasn't. It was just a serial killer in the area working, murdering people, as
Yeah.
opposed to the fact that it really was a
And I
cover-up
believe this
for
picture right
Sister
now is
Kathy.
he's a relative
He's the relative of
the other woman that
woman.
was murdered.
Yeah,
Correct.
this other lady.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you something. I know we sound confused and we're all jumbled
We're just
up.
excited about it. It's just
We're
a great
jumbled up in
documentary.
our the way to explain this. The best thing you can do, please
Check it out.
Go to Netflix.
If you like-
check out The Keepers.
If you like crime documentary series, you'll love it.
I mentioned it to so many people, and
Me
every
too.
person has said to me, "I already saw it."
Great.
I've
yeah,
already
me too.
saw it.
Same here.
It's
Yeah.
just an amazing
Yeah.
piece of work. It's just so well
Yeah.
documented.
And how about your relative that's in this movie? The priest, his last name is Koob, Jerry Koob.
Oh yeah, well that
he's
is
a
my
distant
middle
relative.
name. Well, it is booked backwards.
There is a priest in this film that was a friend of Sister Kathy,
Yeah.
and they talk about how the two of them had a really close relationship. And at one point, he was a suspect, but his name is Jerry Koob, and that's his middle name. I
correct.
thought that was amazing.
No. This is really a heartbreaking
It really
thing.
is.
It's a tough thing to watch.
It is not. It is. It's
you
a
will
hard
walk
one to
away,
watch.
however, although it is inconclusive, you will walk away feeling you know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
People involved are in this whole intertwined small town.
Mm-hmm.
And notice how I go into sort of like almost a little mini, like I'm the spinners, like whoop-de-doo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
whoop-de-dee. But, I'm telling you, it's heart-wrenching, it's heartbreaking. I cannot recommend it enough.
Me too.
It's so well
Two
done.
huge yeses from us
You know
here.
what they do a lot, though, with this? I really was kind of surprised. Every, few scenes, there's, birds. They show birds gathering somewhere. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of birds. Why the birds? What's the birds about?
I mean, I think maybe it's a metaphor for the
what?
students. They're free, they're little birds,
Oh,
and they're
stop.
being abused.
No, they're not.
They're
It's not a
innocent little
metaphor for-
creatures.
No, not
maybe.
true. These are just, they just keep showing little birds.
Well,
Or
it
they're
could also
showing-
just be filler.
They'll be. I think it is filler.
For running time,
I think
you know?
so too. Yeah. Why? Yeah. I could have cut at least about an hour and a half out of this whole seven episodes.
Could've.
Although the last episode, I was kind of shocked. Kind of went into a different area. Suddenly, another person has been.
Yeah, well, they revealed that there was a man that was awesome.
Well, don't
I'm not
spoil
saying
it
it. I'm
now.
not saying. I'm just saying there was
No
a
spoilers,
male
but-
that's revealed as an interview
Precisely.
subject.
There's this thing goes all over the place.
Yeah.
It always seems to be. It never lets you down. There's always a surprise at every corner.
It's a great show.
I gotta say, it's very impressive.
And while we're talking about Netflix documentaries, I'm just going to mention again another great one to check out if you haven't seen it is check out Making a Murderer on Netflix.
I never saw it.
Check it out.
I
If you
heard
like
it's
The
great.
Keepers,
Yeah.
I be honest with you, as much as I like The Keepers, I like Making a Murderer a little bit better.
Really?
It is
Okay.
incredible.
Wow.
It's an amazing true crime docuseries. Highly
will check it
recommend
out. It got-
just as much as I recommend this.
It got major headlines
It's
when it was
great.
first shown on
Yeah.
Netflix.
It is
so-
a fantastic documentary
Yeah,
as well.
they're really doing an-
that one,
they're doing
another.
a great job.
You'll watch a corrupt police department in that one too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Yeah, but this is about the Catholic Church,
it
the
is.
Keepers.
It
It's,
is.
it's just heartbreaking.
At the core of it.
Heartbreaking what
Yeah.
these girls and these guys.
it's disgusting.
went
I
through.
think it's the most despicable
Horrifying.
act a human can do.
It truly
is take advantage of a
Just
child, a young impressionable person
oh my
like that.
God.
It's
It
and
breaks
then you
my
do
heart.
it in the cloak of a religious
That was a good
institution.
word. That was a
I
good
know.
word for
I
you.
like that word.
It was very surprising you went there.
Oh,
The
cloak?
cloak.
Yeah, it's a cloak.
It's a cloak. You see.
But anyway, let's move on because we both
Let's
love that a
move
lot.
on. We gotta
To the
go to
movie of the week,
Solo.
Solo, the big review that,
Gotta go to the big
that
review.
has been the talking point for about a week
Talk
now.
of the town, dude.
Obviously, we all know what Solo is, the origin origin story in some capacity
the
of a
Harrison
young Han
Ford,
Solo.
The Harrison Ford character.
In this film, it's played by Alden Ehrenreich, who is an up-and-coming actor who's been in quite a few things lately.
Hey, give me a pretty boy.
Give me a pretty boy.
That's what
But
they
I
said
think
in the
he does.
studio.
I
Give me
gotta
a
say
pretty
this for this
boy.
guy. I know he beat out a lot of people to play the role.
Yeah.
Everybody basically was auditioning for this movie.
Everybody.
Any
you
young
audition?
but any young actor in
Oh,
Hollywood.
young actor. That's why you didn't audition.
Yeah, I was too old. But I mean, actually, yeah. I mean, they were looking at people in their 20s. I'm not in my 20s.
No, you're not.
But he beat. It's funny. He was the first to audition, and then they just said, yeah, he was still the best one. But he kind of looks like a young Harrison from certain
only
angles.
in certain angles.
Only in certain angles. You're right. But I thought
the very first scene he's in.
Yeah.
He's sitting at a ship.
He's
and
driving
they
away,
kinda
yeah.
Have,
A little
his
bit.
light, the way it hits him, he looks a little like Harrison Ford.
And they had to in that scene, the first introduction of
Okay.
him. But I gotta say, I think he does a good job at capturing the essence of the character. I think he did a good job.
That's the whole flaw of the film, my friend.
You didn't like him.
No, I thought he was fine. I thought he was okay. The brilliance of Harrison Ford is what's truly on display here, in your memory only.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Harrison Ford, you really have to commend this man.
He did a great job.
The way, no, not this
Perfect.
guy. I'm talking
about Harrison
now.
Ford. He did an amazing
Ford-
job in that role.
No. He did. You don't realize what you got till you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch this guy do Harrison Ford in every single Star Wars film he was ever in was always a presence. He was a presence on screen. He had a kind of a James Bond. He had compassion. He had tongue-in-cheek.
Mm-hmm.
He had an ability to just. He had pathos. He had love. He had concern, and yet he could just go into the one-liner mode when he needed to. But everything he said was direct forward. He said it with direct drive. This character, this guy, is given nothing. Every line he says is like, well, okay, so what are you going to do now? He just talks like a normal guy. He doesn't sound like Harrison Ford. He doesn't sound like Han Solo to me.
Well,
and he's a young guy. He's only, what, 25?
20-something, yeah.
Years younger. No. He should have been written so that Harrison Ford's character came through him. It never did.
Well,
he channeled boredom in every scene he was in.
All I can think of is that, maybe they directed him deliberately. He's a guy that's still trying to find himself.
I don't care
He has a
about
mentor
that.
in this film,
No,
played by Woody Harrelson, who kind of teaches him a
Let me say
lot
this
of the
to you.
smuggler's trade and
when
how
you
to
were
be.
5 years old, you were still the obnoxious brat you are today.
That's true.
Everybody,
I agree.
No, it's really the truth. We all are very similar to who we are, and you're not going to tell me for one moment that Harrison Ford, Han Solo, suddenly became Han Solo right after, let's say, this movie was made. Or right after this character goes through this segment of the metamorphosis to the Star Wars films where we know Harrison's character. This character is so lukewarm, so milquetoast, there was nothing there. I walked out of this film, I said, okay, I had some moments. I liked the Woody Harrelson, I liked Emilia Clarke.
Yeah.
I liked the Wookiee thing.
He was great.
He was the best thing in the whole film.
Chewie stole the movie.
Chewie did
Fact,
steal the movie.
Stole the
and
movie.
if Chewie can steal the
He was
movie,
great.
that's how bad it was. This movie was forgettable.
I
walked
disagree.
out of the
I really
theater-
like this
Oh,
film.
God,
I like this film
I know
better than
you
Rogue
did.
One.
You gave it 2 thumbs
No,
up,
but that was still
dude.
done before we saw the film. That doesn't matter. My wife posted that before we saw the movie.
Okay.
No, but
Regardless.
I still like the film quite a bit.
Well,
I
you're
enjoyed
entitled to
Yeah.
like it. but
I just thought
apparently
it was
the rest of
a
the world,
lot of fun.
The rest of the world is kind of agreeing with me right now. Box office on this film, word of mouth is pathetic.
Well,
Because it's a pathetic film. There's
I'm not
nothing
gonna
there.
go that
There's
far and say it's
nothing we
pathetic.
haven't seen before. The best thing about it, I thought, was there was a great black lady who I loved that was working with Woody Harrelson's character.
Oh yeah, that's Thandie Newton,
Right.
Who's now in
Dynamite.
Westworld.
Yeah, she's
great. She's great in everything
She
she's
was in My Beautiful Laundrette, like
She's a
30
fantastic
years ago.
actress.
She's a great actress.
She works a lot.
She's a young girl. Yeah, she's a.
There she is right there and all the way on the
I
left.
love her. There she is on the left
With Woody. Yeah.
I like their
That whole scene where they
that was
do the train
fantastic.
heist, that was
Loved it.
awesome.
Loved it.
Great scene.
But this movie, forgettable. I walked out of there.
I thought it was
just,
a lot of fun.
it
I
was
really
nothing to
enjoyed it.
And it was
It was
ruined by him. Not his fault.
It's not his fault. This movie had 2 different directing. It had
No,
Ron Howard that came in to fix
The
a mess from those
character.
first 2 guys.
No. The producers, the writers, the people, everybody gets together and decides what a character is going to
Well,
be
this
projecting.
is the vision that Kathleen Kennedy, Lawrence Kasdan, and
They
Jay
blew it.
Kasdan came up with
They
for
blew
him.
it.
This is how they wrote this
ruined
character.
it. There was no Harrison Ford. There was no Han Solo character present in this film. You go back and watch this again. Just the way he talks, the way he delivers his lines, nothing. I felt nothing. When Harrison Ford talks, in pretty much any movie
I know, but
he's
nobody's
in.
going to ever be Harrison Ford.
I don't care.
He brought a role
Then
to life that on paper was not much.
Then you've got to do an impression of Harrison Ford.
Well,
but at
I'm
least
sure that was part of their conversation. And they
it was
probably
the
said,
writing.
don't do it.
For me, it was the writing. The writing just wasn't there. I mean, he should have been directed to be Harrison Ford. That's who he's playing, for God's sakes. And they ruined their chance. They blew this film out the window. Goodbye. In the dumper, cash-wise, they blew it. They're now rethinking the whole Star Wars thing. Well, they should, because they screwed up in a major factor.
Paul Bettany was a good villain. I enjoyed him in this.
I like Paul also.
I loved Donald Glover as Lando.
Once
He was
again,
fun.
he just flipped, he jumps from the Marvel film we just saw
I know.
in Infinity Wars.
I know.
Once again. Did you like
I
the
liked
little,
Donald Glover as
Donald
Lando.
Glover?
I thought he was fun.
I thought he was okay.
I mean, he's not Billy D, but I thought he was a lot of fun.
No, he played.
I thought he did what he
was
could
okay.
with the role.
No,
I thought he brought the role
projected
to
that
life
arrogance.
enough.
He did. I agree.
I thought he was good.
He was okay.
You know what I could have done without in this film? I understand they always got to throw comedy with the robots, but the female robot that they had in this film, and she was doing like this, robots lib. I'm here to fight for the robots.
Oh, yeah.
Stay back.
Right.
I could have done without that.
Is, yeah.
I didn't care for that.
Well, he's in love with her, though.
She says that. That's her interpretation of his
but-
relationship.
No.
I don't think he really is.
Yes, he is, because when there's something happens toward the end,
I know.
and he runs over.
Yeah, but doesn't mean he's not in love. Doesn't mean he could care
Oh,
for her
no,
as a
no.
robot.
No.
I didn't think he was really in love with her.
Oh, I think he was.
I thought she was in love with him,
think
and that's a
that-
transference
I
on
think
her part.
I think that's what they were showing,
Yeah, I don't know.
later on.
There were some funny lines in that scene there when they're in the cockpit. I thought it was kind of entertaining.
The movie just failed on every level for me. I
Oh,
can't
that's too bad.
go
Did you
back.
like it better than Rogue One? Because you hated that movie.
Well, I hated Rogue One.
I know. So this is
But
better than that for
no,
you?
I'll tell you why. This film left me feeling nothing. I didn't feel hatred. I didn't feel love. I felt nothing when I watched this film. I do love little Emilia Clarke, too.
She's great in this.
I
liked her a lot in this. Fun.
No,
This
I
was
liked
fun.
her very much. There were some nice little characterizations. As a Star Wars movie, this totally failed. But I would rather hate something, in other words,
Than feel nothing.
I'd rather have my mother, who didn't really give a damn about me, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to admit that to you all, but it's very true. That's why I'm so messed up. But if she had hated me, I would have felt that, okay, she has some compassion. Hatred equals
I understand what you're saying.
compassion to some
I
extent.
understand.
But apathy is the worst thing you can do to anybody. Just ignore them. They don't exist. And that's precisely how this film hit me. It just, nothing. In my brain, out my brain. I can barely, in a year from now, we're all going to say, what was that about again? Or we're going to probably want to go back and watch it again.
I want to see it again,
It's
to be
so
honest with you.
forgettable. Yeah, of course you do.
I enjoyed
it. just goes in one ear and out the other.
So, all right, well, I recommend Solo. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
He does not recommend it. He didn't care for it.
at all.
Okay.
Listen, if this wasn't called Solo, let's say it's called Picard. Let's say it's called Smith.
Picard, a Star
or
Wars
Darryl.
story.
Yeah,
I like the sound of that.
Darryl, a Star Wars story.
That would be an interesting story.
Exactly. It would be interesting, but then it could have worked. But because he's playing Han Solo, because he's doing Harrison Ford, they blew it. They blew it. They totally blew it. Because Harrison Ford's character is vibrant, he's passionate, he's funny, he's James Bond. He really is James Bond. In all the Star Wars films, he's just amazing. He just has this ability to run around a corner with a ray gun and really have some compassion about what he's doing.
I know
This
we have
guy
some
had
pictures
nothing.
of the other Star Wars films too. If people want to throw those on there, because we're all going to.
we're getting to those
We're
very
going to talk a little bit about those films as well.
Yeah, we are.
The original trilogy and then the prequel trilogy.
And we are now going
Yeah,
into
we're going to
some
do a
of
little bit
our,
of a. We're going to brush over them because we all know
Going
these
into
films.
Some of our sci-fi. We know these films.
We're going to
We
be
can
doing
brush
a
over
little
them.
bit of a sci-fi
Yes.
conversation
A
here,
little sci-fi,
as much as we can get
inebriation.
through by 8:30.
Yes,
But
precisely.
obviously we all grew up. I grew up on the original trilogy.
Now look at
Those
Harrison
are-
Ford there. Look at the intensity on the guy's face in just a photograph.
I know, it's amazing.
We don't see that in this stupid
No.
kid who's playing him in this. Okay, he's a good-looking guy, but they blew it. Look at this. Just nothing. There's nothing there. There's no projection.
Well, he
of
doesn't have the
character.
charisma that Harrison Ford has.
Well, then he shouldn't have been hired,
Well-
or he should have been rewrapped. Listen, never blame an actor. Never blame an actor. We know this. You and I know this. You cannot blame an actor for a faulty performance. there are so many people that are judging that in a movie like a Star Wars, we're
I know.
talking a $200 million
Well, that's why they
budget.
fired the first directors. The
This
Lord,
guy has to
Chris
take
Miller
a leak.
and Lord, that team.
This guy has to take a leak. Someone has to go into the bathroom and monitor and make sure that he's okay, that he didn't pass a kidney stone or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, these things, every little thing is so minutely focused on.
I know, micromanaged. I know what you're saying.
Precisely micromanaged. And there's so many powers that be that micromanage. Directors, producers. We had 2 directors on this film. Ron Howard came in.
And they replaced the directing team.
I mean, all he had to do was, to direct a Star Wars film. I don't think you even have to direct the film. You're just telling, okay, Chewie, act like Chewie. Okay, Amelia, act like the heroine. I mean, you're just directing the characters. You're not really directing everything else. Well,
no, he comes up with the shot list, and then the production designer and the cinematographer help achieve those shots.
Yeah, but these movies are almost like they're like a machine now. They're so, okay, we got the shot in the, we got the full-on shot through the front window with everybody.
No, I know what you're saying. He's coming on board a machine that's already in progress.
It's already in progress.
He just has to orchestrate it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
no,
there's hardly anything to
And that's a big thing that they talk about with episodic television, is that when they have all these directors to come in and direct, it's already a moving train. You're just conducting minuscule. You're literally just doing little things.
So somebody left out the major fact that where's Harrison Ford? Where's his person in this film? Okay, there's a guy representing his physical body that means nothing. It's absolute rubbish.
All right, well, we got to move on because we're way behind.
Nobody talks about it. Nobody gives a damn about it. All they had to do was just do some writing and make that kid become Harrison Ford. That's what the film was missing.
Okay.
All right, enough.
We know you didn't like it.
All right, so let's go back to the very first Star Wars. We're just going to run through
this.
I don't even think we need to go through them film by film.
I'm just saying, we can just talk about the original trilogy for a couple minutes.
Did you like the original trilogy?
I loved it. I grew up on it. I mean, those three films are those films represent everything about movies that I love.
Those
are my favorite movies of all time, those original 3 films.
Oh, no.
They are the pinnacle of my childhood is Star Wars. And I think most guys or kids my age, that's what we loved. I mean, that was huge for us. Those 3 films are perfect. I still
remember in 1977 sitting there watching.
I wish I could have seen it. I wasn't born yet.
Oh, there you go. Watching Luke Skywalker, have to go through this thing, which we now see on many computer games, etc., and Great Space
It all started there.
where he's going through that thing. Okay, and he's got to shoot it right into the heart of the big thing,
Death Star,
it blows up the Death
exhaust
Star.
port.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing.
I mean, even people in the audience were going, "Yeah!"
I know, it was an event.
I mean, it was so cool. It's a space western. That's all this is. Basically, you've got your basic characters. Everyone's got a gun, and everyone's shooting everybody.
You got mysticism in there. You got romance. You got adventure. It's great.
Nothing is great. Any sitcom, any drama on television, it ain't great without a great cast.
I agree.
And this film, he was the only cast member that, I'm talking solo now, he was the only cast member that just had nothing.
Okay.
It was like staring at he might have been, it was like staring at a cardboard stand-up of himself. He had nothing to offer that film. Nothing. Thank you for going back. Look at this guy. He's a great-looking guy, but nothing. There's nothing there. You see this movie, you feel nothing from him. Nothing. Okay, back to, and that just amplifies and how great the Star Wars films are because the cast of characters.
Great. And George Lucas had 2, when he was casting this film, which took quite a while, he had 2 different sets of actors for the 3 leads.
Oh, did he?
And it took him.
Not surprised.
Yeah, and then eventually he went for obviously this one because they were more fun.
Yeah.
The other group he thought were better actors.
All right.
But this was the more fun group. You know who was Han Solo in the other group?
Who?
Take a guess.
How can I take a guess? I mean,
Christopher Walken.
Oh, really?
Not joking. He was the other.
Would have made it a different thing.
Would have been different.
Would he have been a better actor than Harrison? I don't think so.
Well, that's why he went here. He said this was more fun. He brought the role to life more. And he got that role. Harrison got that role just because he was doing the readings for the other actors. Okay. And Lucas was a little hesitant to bring on somebody he's already worked with a couple times.
Okay.
But he said, you know what? This
Graffiti.
guy has brought this role to life for me.
Absolutely.
Which worked out great for Harrison. It was a great thing. Because I'm reading right now the biography of George Lucas, and I'm just loving it. I've been reading it for over a month, little by little.
Are you actually reading it, or are you listening to the car
No,
audio?
I'm reading it. I'm reading it. It's one of the best books I've ever read.
Really?
He is comparable in terms of what he did for the industry, what Steve Jobs did for computers.
No, he created a world
He
that
did.
has been.
No, but I'm talking
has
about
been
not just cinema. I'm talking about digital filmmaking, special effects.
Absolutely.
He is
Absolutely.
he's that version of Steve Jobs, and he created.
I was just about to say
he's
has
amazing.
been mimeographed. He
I
has
love
been
him.
Xeroxed. Everything he created here, he literally created a whole new avenue of
He did.
films.
It's amazing.
That have come to. Would we have a Galaxy of the Guardians of the Galaxy without Star
But
Wars?
it created every. Yeah, but
no,
it was.
we wouldn't.
It
wouldn't
was
have
so
it.
fundamental in
We would have
pop
gotten there
culture
eventually,
entertainment since
but,
then.
Look at Alec Guinness over
There he
there.
is,
You know.
and he had to really coax him
As
to
a
come
young
back to
George,
the sequel.
I know, look at George Lucas
Yeah.
there. It's shocking.
It's just
to see him,
great what
but,
he's been able to accomplish. He created
absolutely true.
so many things that are just a landmark for so many. I mean, I
agree.
had a fucking Star Wars wedding. You were there.
I was there.
We weren't dressed up in costumes, but that was the theme of the whole wedding.
But you did have the Star Wars poster.
With our faces
With
on
your
it.
faces
I
on
should have
it.
provided that for you guys tonight.
You know, you should have. That would have
I
been
know,
great fun.
It would have been great.
Everyone would have loved it.
And then maybe I can quick send it to the. I can't send it.
No, you can't do
I'll
it.
show it next week, guys.
There you go.
Stay tuned next
But anyway,
week.
the
But
first three Star Wars,
they're
that were
brilliant.
actually,
They're
which
perfect.
are 4, 5, 6
4,
in
5,
the
6,
series.
yeah.
New Hope.
We
through,
love them. Empire and
Return
Return of the Jedi.
Fantastic stuff.
It's just great.
How can you not love them? They're just the characters. We had Jabba the Hutt
Jabba
there.
is so
we had,
fun.
I mean, look at Princess Leia there and her cute little
I know.
thing. And everyone always, I remember when they did parodies on Saturday Night
Yeah.
Live, they would take like cinnamon buns
Cinnamon
and stick
buns,
them to
yeah.
their head.
Yeah,
you know?
she hated that, by the way.
I know she
I
did,
know.
but you know, it's just so cool. It just became a whole cultural.
Boba, there
a
he
whole
is.
Cultural
phenomenon.
Phenomenon
Yeah.
is the word.
It created a whole lexicon of stuff.
Phenomenon, and it's just wonderful stuff. And people,
It's the best.
when people say to me, "Oh, I don't like Star Wars," well, those people are a drag.
And they're the ones
And
that
you
are
know
proud
what?
about it too. I've never seen a Star
I
Wars
know.
movie. Like proud.
Well, you know, Freddie
Shut
Mercury
up.
did say it in, one of his "Let Me Entertain You," you know, and I don't like Star Wars. Well, but then again, Freddie was so busy
all
making
right.
music. That's okay,
That's fine.
Freddie. You don't need to like Star Wars, but.
Whatever, you don't have to like it, but don't mock it.
I find that the people that do love Star Wars, they're like people who love music. They
Yeah.
just love creation. They love what brings their imaginations to fruition and makes
Yeah.
them dream and makes them think. And when we watch Star Wars, there's just a fantasy element
Yeah.
there that we can all embrace. And it really, I treasure those.
Me too.
I treasure films within my heart that I've seen growing
These
up.
movies
And
mean so much to me.
They do. They mean a lot to so many
It's
people.
incredible stuff.
I mean, it's wonderful. I mean,
So
look
much
at Luke.
nostalgia.
You know, now he just appeared on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And he did the wedding for Sheldon and Amy.
Oh, yeah, I heard about
and
that,
And it was
yeah.
great.
That's cool.
And I mean, and there was Amy, played by, I forgot her name, Melchin Amick or something.
Oh, you mean Marlon Bialik?
Marlon Bialik,
Yeah.
you're right. And she was just saying, you know, there she saw him come walking in. You know, there's Luke Skywalker
Yeah,
right in front of
I
her.
wouldn't know what to say to
Just
him.
amazing.
Icon of my youth, yeah.
Really, it's just an iconic world all within our. You
And
know,
I
you
don't-
said
and
Star
sadly-
Wars, and you
Yeah.
know, there's a unification within people.
And the sad thing is that they'll never, I don't feel, ever be able to bring what those original three films brought to the world.
Well,
we'll never be able to get that same feeling again. And that's okay. I don't think you can. It doesn't matter.
I got to tell you though,
You know,
Force Awakens.
I love that film.
Force Awakens,
but it's
brought
not
that,
the original three.
It brought that feeling back to me because I love Daisy Ridley.
So she's excellent.
I thought
she's
she was
excellent.
great.
I loved her in that film.
I just loved that film.
Yeah, I agree.
And for me, that did start the ball rolling again.
Yeah, and I love those films.
And then
believe
the
me.
Rogue One, that just sank that
Yeah.
ship. But that wasn't even part of that
No,
world.
no, that's
then
just-
we did The Last Jedi, and I thought
Yeah.
The Last Jedi in the hands.
You know, and I've been meaning
not in the hands of J.J.
to watch
Abrams.
to give that movie a second view. I got to watch that
Me
again.
too.
It's just a 2.5-hour film. I haven't had time.
I know, and it's got that whole half-hour segment.
That's
and
useless with the casino
in
thing.
the casino thing.
Yeah,
it just
I know.
kind of brings it all down.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're so impressed with the money they spent that they just want to put it up there on
Yeah,
the screen.
I know.
But unfortunately, they don't realize that they're dragging down
know.
a fairly coherent film
Yeah.
until they put this magnificent set pieces in there to
Yeah, I
distract
mean, it looked
us
cool, but we didn't
and
need it.
ruin the film for
I
us.
know.
So,
Yeah,
you
we
know, what are
didn't
you
need
going to
it.
do?
But anyway, so obviously we love those three.
And we love the other
We'll talk about the
Phantom
prequels
Menace
briefly.
and,
Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. I thought those films got progressively better.
I agree.
I remember I was
agree.
more excited to watch Episode 1 at that point than just about anything I've ever looked forward to in my
Phantom
life.
Menace, you mean.
Yeah, Phantom Menace, Episode 1, Phantom Menace. Yeah, I was.
And then the second one, of course,
Yeah. was Attack of the Clones,
Attack of the Clones,
followed
and
by
then
Revenge of the Sith
Revenge
in
of the Sith.
2005.
I love that film.
Yeah, and that was the movie where I yelled at you, "Hey, it's Chris from Chili's."
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that was Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen playing.
I thought he was great as Anakin Skywalker.
I thought he was okay. He played a little whiny shit pretty well.
No, I loved him in that. I thought he was great. I didn't think he played a whiny
I
shit.
thought he was pretty
I think he
whiny,
played
especially
I
in
think he
the
played it really well. And I
second
loved
or third
Liam
one, I forget
Neeson
to have that scene.
as Obi-Wan, and I loved...
Well, no, Obi-Wan was Ewan McGregor.
Obi-Wan's
You're thinking
Ewan
of
McGregor.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
There you go.
In Episode 1.
God
Liam
bless
Neeson.
you.
I love him in that film.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah,
the best
Liam
part of
was
that
great.
film, him and Ewan for me in that.
I know.
But I thought that,
There you go.
you know, the film relied a little bit too much on green screen, and it kind of hurt the acting on
Okay.
some of the people. Because you
Little
get
Natalie Portman over there on the right there. I loved her in that.
I felt in those films that some actors, when you have everything around you being green screen.
That's me at home, by the way.
It is, yeah, before you
when
put
I
on your
take this
makeup.
mask off.
Yeah. But I thought that Samuel L. Jackson had a couple moments in Phantom Menace that I could tell he was not believing his environment,
Okay.
and therefore some of his dialogue came across as just like a little cringy.
Not believing his environment.
Yeah, because as an actor, when you're
Sam's
looking
a great
everything
actor.
around you, there's nothing there but green screen.
Okay.
It's kind of tough when you're acting against a tennis ball. I kind of felt that some of his performance in that film, not his fault.
What's next on our agenda here, folks? Because we're running out of time.
because I don't want to linger on these
I don't
films.
think
We
we
know
need
what
to
these
say-
films are.
yeah, we know what they are.
We know they're not as great as the original
The
trilogy.
first three was not as the last three
Yeah.
rather was not.
But they
as
did
good.
get better. We
Yeah, I
did
think
have
so.
some good scenes.
Yeah, I thought Revenge of the Sith was great, and I liked Attack
I
of the
liked
Clones
it.
too.
I did too. That had a really awesome
they were
lightsaber
kinda
battle.
Fun. They were fun.
That confrontation was great when they're fighting by the lava.
Right.
In Guatemala,
I
you know,
know.
and in Hawaii,
Okay,
you know,
there you
whatever.
But I loved. Okay, there you go. But
that was a bad
I
joke,
loved.
sorry.
I thought
Apologize.
Hayden was great, and a lot of people say what you said. They didn't care for Hayden.
Yeah.
That he was a whiny little.
Yeah, I
bitch,
mean, but that was, again, that's the role, that's the way he was directed to act. So,
Precisely.
whatever.
He went on to be in some other films.
Well, he did a film that I liked a
wasn't that
lot
movie
called Shattered Glass.
Oh, I remember that
was
film.
he played a disgraced journalist.
There you go. And he was also in a movie called Jump, which I didn't care for.
That was the Doug Liman film. I
Yeah,
didn't
that
care for that
wasn't-
film.
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, like people that could just
I
transport
know, just
themselves.
immediate.
Forgettable.
Yeah, it was interesting. That was a nice concept.
It could have been great.
It was kind of a video game
Kind of,
concept,
yeah.
you know, where you'd go through the,
Yeah.
you know, the little gateway, etc., and suddenly be in
Like a
another
portal,
part
yeah,
of the game.
Stargate
A
or
portal,
something,
if
yeah.
you will.
All right, so now we're going to just do a
If
couple
you're gonna
other
do the
sci-fi
close-up on
films.
me, I've got book glasses
We're
on.
going to touch on 1951's The Day the Earth Stood Still.
There we go.
And obviously, we'll have to mention the remake that came out in 2008 with Keanu Reeves.
Absolutely.
But right now, we're going to focus on the original. Would you like
The
to say a few
original,
words?
I love the film. One of my favorite
is a
movies
classic.
of all time.
Yeah.
We have Michael Rennie,
Yep.
who is the original Klaatu,
Mm-hmm.
and he is so good. He plays, you know, I always love Michael Rennie. He
Mm-hmm.
also did a little thing on television called The Third Man, which
Yeah.
was a takeoff of the old Orson Welles film,
Yeah.
naturally, directed by Carol Reed in like 48 or so. But I'll tell you, Michael Rennie is so good, and that's Patricia Neal
Patricia
right
Neal,
there.
yeah.
She won an Oscar in 1963 for a film called HUD
Mm-hmm.
with Paul Newman. She was Best Actress, and she was great in that film. But I tell you, she's wonderful here. The star of this movie for me is a little guy who kind of looks like Sigmund Freud. In the film, his name is Sam Jaffe. Sam
Yeah,
Jaffe
Sam Jaffe.
was in, actually, he was in the original Gunga Din. He was the original trumpet player, and he's telling the British cavalry to come on in, and you know they're shooting him, and he's going as the bullets are plummeting him. But Sam Jaffe kind of plays the Freud.
He's like
Not
the scientist,
Freud,
right?
The Einstein
Yeah.
character in this.
Yeah.
And Michael Rennie is just so brilliant in this. Of course, that's the cover of Ringo Starr's album "Goodnight Vienna" right there with that famous
Big robot.
That's actually a big guy in there. It's like
Yeah.
an 8 foot. Not, I don't think it was 8 feet. It was like 7 feet high, though. The actor who played.
I always thought it was
him.
cool how
Yeah.
the laser beam shot out of the eyes like that.
It was very-
kind of neat.
a very good
Yeah.
effect.
And
His
in the
name is
remake, it
Gort.
was much cooler
His name
too.
is Gort, and of course the
Gort,
famous
yeah.
line. You know, he's been shot by the police. The premise of this film, let's be honest, it's not the greatest.
No.
It basically is
Political
about how-
statement about nuclear
it's-
energy.
It's a political statement
Nuclear
about
weapons.
violence
Yeah.
on Earth and weapons, etc.
Yeah.
And here he is. That is Klaatu. He has come down from another planet
Mm-hmm.
to warn Earth that if they don't stop with their weapons, that they're going to destroy everything. That the whole galaxy is going to have repercussions from the destruction of life on planet Earth, etc. So he comes down here and almost like a fairy tale, like I'm so peaceful and wonderful. I mean, it's kind of like a peacenik film to some extent, but at the same time, it's so mesmerizingly beautiful, so well acted, directed by Robert Wise.
Yeah.
In a
Who did
early
West Side
stages.
Story,
West
Sound
Side
of
Story,
Music.
Sound of Music.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was just a brilliant human being.
Yeah.
And
The Haunting, which you love.
I love The Haunting. One of my favorite films of all time. It truly is. Julie Harris,
First Star Trek film, too.
1963. Oh God, I love The Haunting. But I'll tell you something. This film for me is. Did you watch it? You
I've
have
seen it. No, I saw it. Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also liked the remake with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, I didn't care.
I
for
thought
that
it was
too.
pretty
With all
decent.
those bugs and everything running around. Oh, come on. Man.
I still enjoy. I
didn't care.
love the way they did the robot in the remake. I thought it was really cool, and I thought he was decent. I liked him in that film.
I do like Keanu.
I like
You
Keanu.
would think he would have been perfect.
I liked how big the sphere was.
Well,
that
true.
was cool. They brought some
You'd
grandeur
think he would
to
have been
it.
perfectly cast, but his woodenness. He's a wooden actor. He's perfect as John Wick. He was perfect in Bill and Ted. But I think in this film, you needed somebody who ejected brilliance in every moment of his being, like Michael Rennie did in the first. For me, this film was a total flop. I did not appreciate this movie by any means.
At all.
With Keanu.
Okay.
I do like Keanu very much, though.
No, I do
really
too. He's really come a long
He did
way.
a little movie in 2005 with Rachel Weisz. What's the name of that? Begins
Rachel
with a
Weisz?
P.
P?
Yeah.
I'm thinking. What was the premise?
2005.
Remind me the premise.
It's kind of about witchcraft. It's a creature. Keanu is always under attack, but Rachel Weisz is in the film. It's one of her first. It's like 2005. Begins with a P. We'll look it up later and we'll tell you next week.
Yeah, what the
because
hell are you
We're
talking
not
about?
on the ball right now. It's called It's one word. One word. Sounds like it's a movie. It's,
You sure it's Rachel Weisz?
You can look it up.
Because
I'm
you're not
positive.
talking about Constantine, right?
Yes,
Well,
Constantine.
that's not. Oh yeah, I
I'm
love
sorry.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't begin
They're
with a
good.
P.
He plays
I'm
this
sorry.
guy who fights. He's fighting demons and he's dying of
I'm
cancer.
old, I've gotta take
It's cool.
the P.
I think
Maybe
Tilda
I have to
Swinton
take
is in
the
that
P.
film.
Okay.
I don't remember Rachel Weisz, but you could be right.
No, Rachel's
Let's
in
double
that
check.
film, absolutely.
Oh, she's the woman. That's right. She's the woman who's
Yeah.
like she was a victim of.
Right.
Yeah, I remember her now.
Correct.
Yeah,
I believe that
yeah.
she's being, or her son or something is being attacked by this devil entity which has entered somebody.
Rachel Weisz, you're absolutely right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
There you
remember
go.
her now.
No,
Yes, now I remember. I really enjoyed that film.
I didn't love the film Constantine, but it's
I
just
liked
such a
it.
great looking movie.
It's a cool film.
I have it on Blu-ray. I'm going to go home
I
and
know
watch
that's
it.
based on a graphic novel, I believe. But anyway, we're going to move on to a
move
film
on.
that
We've
is a
done
lot
Day
of
of the Earth.
fun.
Okay.
To me, it's a guilty pleasure. Starship Troopers, 1997.
Oh, I love Starship
Paul
Troopers.
Verhoeven's
Oh,
film.
my God.
He did one of my all-time favorite movies, is Total Recall.
The only good bug is
He's a dead bug. This movie's fun. It's a commentary on indoctrination into the military. It's a commentary on propaganda.
Correct.
It's just a fun action
thing-
movie that doesn't pretend to be anything else.
And I want to talk about something
blast.
about this particular film.
a lot
Paul
of fun.
Verhoeven, he kind of did a cross-lateral jump in RoboCop.
Yeah.
Because he
Love
always,
RoboCop.
True. But he always has like this Big Brother TV station
Back
going
and forth.
on,
Yeah,
back and forth
I
at
agree
the
with
same
you.
time, and it's the same as in Starship Troopers.
Exactly, yeah, he took
I
the idea
love
again.
that.
Me
Yeah,
too.
He utilized
Me too.
that constantly, where we're always looking at the media
Yeah.
as we're also looking at the film
It's a
characters.
commentary on both,
But this
yeah.
movie is one of the best creature films
Yeah.
you'll ever see. The bugs in this
Horrifying.
film are
Every time I
spectacular.
see a cave cricket,
My
I think about this
God.
movie.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this movie is. There's only one
Brutal
bug
deaths,
that's-
too.
I know, and they just grab you.
Yeah.
And it's so well done.
It's really well
effects
done.
are mind-blowing.
It's a great
in this
looking
film.
movie.
You know, there's the creature
Yeah.
who
Right out of Dune,
Well, you know
right? A
something.
little bit?
I gotta say, this creature for me looked so damn fake. That's Patrick,
Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick.
He plays like a psychic
I know.
guy.
Well,
Yeah.
no, he's not a psychic guy at all. He plays like the general.
No, but he's a psychic. He's got powers in this film. He can read the minds of the creatures and
Oh, okay.
communicate.
Well, I remember
he rises through the ranks.
he goes over to the creature at the
Yeah.
end and he says, "I sense fear.
Yes, yes.
But I tell you,
He's like a precog.
I do love this film. I just adore it. There's just but that final
Not a
creature at the
precog,
end
I'm
looked
sorry.
very fake to me, and it goes and drills
In the guy's
into your
brain?
head,
Yeah,
sucks
yeah.
the brain out of
It's
his
a little
head.
fake.
It's so fake, but I don't care.
It was a cool, horrifying moment.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It's just a little long. It's a solid 2 hours.
It
this
is.
film, but I still loved it.
And they made a bunch of direct-to-video sequels, which I didn't even bother
Oh, they're
seeing.
just horrible.
Yeah.
But he's in it. The main guy.
Casper Van Dien.
Casper Van Dien.
Well,
is
yeah, he was in a
back.
bunch
I
of
know.
things. I think it was at least the second one,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and there's what's her face. I love her.
That's
in this
Dina
film.
Meyer.
She's
very
so
good.
good
I
in
like
this.
her, yeah.
She was in a
She's
couple
been in
episodes
quite
of Friends.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
Been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
She's kind of just kind of her career hasn't
for a while
gone
she
too
was like a
far.
go-to for a lot of these type of movies.
Well, not so much, really. I don't think
she
was in
worked
that
a lot
many
in the
films.
90s.
Did
Yeah,
she?
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But this film is great.
And then Denise Richards, that was the big breakout for her.
I
Right before
loved
she
her.
did Wild Things.
I know.
Which was a
I
very
know.
welcome film.
I know. Wonderful, wonderful. One of my favorite. I just a guilty
It's a lot of fun.
pleasure.
It's a guilty
so much
pleasure,
fun.
yeah.
The deaths are outrageous. So I mean, just these bugs are. And
It's
then
great.
I love the scene with what's his face? The main guy.
Michael Ironstein?
Yes.
He's great
Michael
too.
Iron-
Oh yeah, yeah, he's there.
my
He's got some great scenes.
Oh man,
Well, there's something that occurs. I know what you're talking
there's
about.
always
yeah.
there he
Yeah,
is
he's
right
great.
there
I
in
love
the middle.
him.
And,
And
this,
Jake
of course,
Busey on the
that's
left.
Gary Busey's kid
It
right
is,
there
his
on
son.
the left, right
Yep.
over there, looks
Yep.
just like him.
Yeah.
But amazing movie.
It's a fun film.
It really is a kick.
You can check it if you haven't
Just a
seen it.
kick.
Check it out. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's got
Dare
a
the
little,
Earth Stood Still is
there's
on
a little
Amazon as well.
Sexual tension going on.
yeah, there's some of that.
Just all the little elements, all the comic book elements that just make a movie
Yeah.
great in a very tongue-in-cheek kind of way.
I agree.
Very well done.
We're going to quick
Loved
move
it.
on to a film that we've all probably seen. We're going to touch on The Matrix, which again is another landmark film that changed cinema. How many Matrix
Keanu,
wannabes came out after
talking of
Matrix?
Keanu Reeves,
Keanu
perfectly
again.
perfectly cast.
He
as
made a fortune on these
Neo.
movies, by
Did
the
he?
way. Oh yeah.
Did he?
He made a lot of his fortune on The Matrix.
Well,
Yeah.
let me say this.
These
the
movies
first
were
film, without
incredible,
doubt, is
especially the first one.
best.
It's the best.
I love it. I
agree.
love
Hugo Weaving right there.
Hugo Weaver
He's
is
great.
So
Mr. Smith.
Amazing. And then
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah, he's great.
He
that was
is
the first time a lot of us took
phenomenal.
notice of
True.
him, and now he's in everything.
Absolutely.
He's great.
I'm going to say, though, the first film, so brilliant,
Yeah,
so
I know.
amazing.
And they lost
Carrie
steam on
Ann
the
Moss, of course,
by the
is
third
in
one.
It.
Carrie Ann Moss,
no, the second one.
See,
You
I
know,
like the
all
second
we
one.
see
I
in
like
these
the second
films-
one
Oh,
quite a
did
bit,
you?
actually.
Oh, man.
More so than the third one, I'll tell you that.
The fight scenes, all we see is Keanu with, the clones of Mr. What's his
Smith.
face? Yeah, in the air, going like this. Dum, dum, dum,
I
dum,
know,
for
I
like
know.
10 minutes
I
at
know.
a time.
It's kind of a.
It's such a drag.
I know, but how about
That's
that?
so
awesome
quick.
car chase with those creepy twins with the dreadlocks.
Oh, that was good.
They shot
No,
that
no,
on
that was
an
good.
abandoned airport, I think, in Australia.
The
That was
Wachowski
an
brothers.
awesome scene.
And I'll tell you something.
That was great.
They also did Jupiter's Ascending, and they did Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas is their
I love
unsung
Cloud Atlas.
masterpiece, in
That
my opinion.
movie
It's
is
brilliant.
so brilliant.
I should have threw a poster
It
for that
really
up
is
here.
too, because
Please check out Cloud Atlas if you folks have not seen it. It's a
magnificent piece of
brilliant
work.
film.
It's a time
It's
traveling
great.
kind of film.
All the
It's
actors
so
play
bizarre.
multiple parts.
They do.
It's great. Tom
Tom
Hanks,
Hanks is
Halle
wonderful.
Berry.
But here we have
it's
Mr.
great.
Lawrence Fishburne. He's wonderful.
You know who turned down the role of Morpheus before he got on board?
I think I heard.
Val Kilmer.
Oh, that
He was originally going to
that
play
I
Morpheus.
wouldn't
Yeah,
believe.
he was
well,
offered.
he was a better choice.
He's a great choice.
He's
yeah,
a great
I agree.
choice. No, there's
Yeah.
and he's wonderful in John Wick also.
Yeah, yeah.
That he made
That's
with
right. They were
Keanu.
together in
They're
that.
working together right there.
You're right. He shows up in part 2, John Wick
Yeah,
2.
he does.
And
He
I believe
does.
he's back for part 3.
I'm sure he will be.
Which is filming very soon.
Well, he was. It's got to be filming almost now. I'll bet
Excuse
you.
me.
Keanu's probably, doing his
gun
ballet,
training right now, yeah.
Workouts in the factories that they do that. But
yeah, we all
I'll tell
love
ya,
The
this
Matrix.
Film,
It's great.
It created a whole world.
It really did.
Much like Star Wars in essence.
It did. I agree 100%.
I love the fact that everything is interrelated. That where do I go now? Oh, there's a doorway up ahead. They use that now on a show I watch called Arrow. I watch Arrow each week. And they have that ability to tell whoever's running out in the field, so to speak, where to go, where the exits are,
Yeah.
if you go up to the third floor and go through the second door, go up the staircase, you'll be free. And the Matrix started all that. Plus the cool little DNA fragments
All
just
that
flying
stuff,
through
yeah.
the air.
It's great.
It just was such a great show. The evil was evil, the good was good.
Yeah, and you had some depth to the storyline that
True.
you had to focus on.
Absolutely.
Think about what's going on. It's not just
No.
action.
No.
There's a story there, a deeper meaning there
And
too,
not
which is
only
great.
that, just the whole cool thing with the way, okay, there's the Avatar world.
Yes.
But then there's the world where, that's
You're
almost
plugged
the first
in and share.
Avatar.
I
That's the
know.
first
I know.
Avatar film.
Speaking of which we'll be
Keanu
covering
is
in a
plugged
minute.
into
Briefly.
he's in a big, almost like a capsule.
Yeah.
And, and he's laying there and the needles are in his arms and,
Yep.
but he's out on the field running around in Avatar. It's so cool. So
It's great.
cool. I mean, James Cameron had to be stealing
Of
some
course,
of that.
yeah. And
But
again,
every
we have.
video game in the world steals something.
We've all
from,
seen Avatar. We got 3 or 4 more of those coming out. They're filming right now.
I know.
I think 2 or 3 at the same
but
time.
now he keeps pushing the years back.
I know. Well, they
James
had to
Cameron now
develop. They
said, Well,
developed.
in 2024,
He's
we'll see
developing
the first
again
one.
new
I
technology
know.
like he did for the original.
I know, but
So I'm curious what's going to be. There's an
give me a
underwater
break.
component to the story this time.
No, the whole second one
It's
takes
going to be
place
underwater. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's going to be cool.
It's amazing. It's wonderful.
And again, Avatar also kind of really, again, reinvented digital filmmaking again.
Ladies and gentlemen, I feel a strange invisible hook.
Well, we have 3 minutes if you want
we
to touch
do?
on a little bit more of Avatar.
All right.
I mean, it's a beautiful looking film.
It's a great looking
gorgeous movie.
It does look good.
I saw it several times in the theater. The only time that I've ever said, go see it in 3D, because it really worked for me for Avatar.
I understand.
But if it's an up conversion just to make money, get out of here. No, thank you.
I walked into Best Buy
Yes.
one particular day, and this was the first time I had ever seen it was a 240Z. It was the pixel.
Pixels,
They had 1080, but this was the first time they had gone into 120, whatever
Okay.
it was. I mean, they had literally begun
Yeah.
formulating the new set of hertz. that
1080p
came
by
out
1920 or
when
whatever?
I saw that first 65-inch television
Mm-hmm.
at Best Buy showing Avatar all the time.
Yeah.
Why? Because Avatar is one of the few films that actually it's not shown in widescreen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I love that about James Cameron doing that with that film because
Mm-hmm.
how many, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say one brief thing about this because it pisses me off. It pisses me off how we all have widescreen
TVs.
televisions now, don't we? Yes, we have widescreen rectangular TVs that look precisely like a movie screen when we go to the movies. However, when you buy a film, you get a Blu-ray, you get a DVD, you get a 4K disc, what do? They crop it. They have black bars on the top, black bars on the bottom. Why? I'm watching a rectangle. The film itself is rectangular, but still, they want to put this black bar on the top, black bar on the bottom on what's already a rectangle. There's no need for it. It just urinates me beyond belief.
I know.
That they're not utilizing the whole screen. I will say this, Justice League just came out on Blu-ray, came out on 4K DVD. I picked it up. They use the whole screen
Great.
the way they should. It's a rectangular screen. It's a rectangular film. Why have these black bars on the back? Avatar, James Cameron. Do I sound too crazy when I talk
No,
like
you're fine.
this? I don't sound too nuts? Okay, because I
You're
thought it was
okay.
too crazy there.
And we're
But
at
it's
8:30, by
true,
the way.
but it does piss me off because why do they do it?
I know.
Why do they do it? Give me the full screen.
Well, you know
I
what
went
it
out
is?
and
It
paid
could-
$2,000. No, I paid $5,000 for my TV. I want the whole screen filled. I don't want to see.
You know what it could be
black
too?
bars.
Something as stupid and ridiculous as they're still just stuck in the old routines.
They are.
And they should be like, oh, wait
There's
a second,
some
guys.
jerk-
We don't need to do this anymore.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
You got it.
That's what it is.
There's
It's got to
some
be.
jerk
Yeah.
sitting there and, okay, we're going to master this movie now.
Yeah.
It's in widescreen, so we'll put the black bars on the top and the black bars on the bottom.
I know.
Why?
Okay. On
Makes
that note,
no sense. Very good.
we'll see you guys
Ladies and
next
gentlemen,
week
we shall return
for another
with
full,
more
fun episode of
invigorated
Film
urinations,
Banter.
with more invigorated,
Same time, same
more
channel.
things to be pissed off about.
Yes. We'll be
But
reviewing
more
some
things
new
to-
cinema.
more
We'll be
things to
doing another
embrace.
themes flashback
Yes.
segment as well.
Namaste.
Theme to be
Namaste.
decided.
Namaste.
So
Namaste.
we will see you guys next week.
Namaste.
Thanks for tuning in.
Namaste.
Um,
Namaste. Yes.
If you haven't seen all episodes, check us out on YouTube.
Yes, my
Go to the
children.
Film Banter page.
Yes, my children.
And
We shall return
watch the
next
archives
week.
here on Be Terrific as well. Catch up on the 9 other episodes we've done here.
Yes.
So that's it.
All right, sir.
We'll see you next
we have
week, guys.
completed our affair here.
We
for
flew
today.
through that stuff pretty well. I'm
Thank
happy.
you so much.
Yeah.
We shall return. Thank you so much. Good day.
bro. Yeah, bro, yo, I know. Yeah, Mr. Slam,